It is good to see you, my friend. How are you?
D-Rose, is always beautiful to see that face, man. You're looking good. You're like Benjamin Button.
Yeah, a
Looking
lot of people,
younger.
have said I'm looking homeless, ugly, etc. I just want to get this out. I've been married 23 and a half years. When your wife says, "Hey, why don't you grow the beard back after the NFL draft?" You're growing the beard back, brother.
I like it. You know what I really like is that New York hat on you right now. Like you look good. Not a lot of people can pull that hat off, and you're
Yeah,
one of them.
we know our friends Jimmy and Jake have a tough time putting this on their melons. I mean, Jake's dome for a guy his size, it's Bochy like.
He's not a good hat guy. Jimmy's
Yeah,
always a good hat guy. He wears them all the time. Jake, not a good hat guy.
yeah. All right. So the reason I'm wearing this, not because I'm a Yankees fan, we know that. There's enough of those guys running around JOMBOY media. It's because Corey Kluber did something great, something we hadn't seen in less than 24 hours. Another no-hitter, his first one for the two-time Cy Young Award winner. What is the biggest storyline for you coming out of that?
You know, I love Kluber. Obviously, I have to see him a lot when he was with your Indians. I have three homers off him. No big deal. It's not a big deal, guys. Don't make it a big deal. But I talked about this when he signed with the Yankees in the offseason. I told the guys, I said, Kluber's a guy. He doesn't need that velo that he had early on in his career to be successful. Because what he does is he tunnels his pitches so well, and then he X's those corners with it. He doesn't like
Hey,
to
real
call
quickly,
his
for people who don't understand tunneling, give us a 15-second definition.
they come out of the same arm slot and they come out of the same tunnel essentially. So when you see them, the halfway to the plate where you're picking the ball up as a hitter, they look the same, and then the last half of the way to the plate they move direction. So he doesn't like to call it a slider or a curveball, whatever it is. It's a slider, but he's able to run that two seamer back. He has him going like this. And so when you have a guy that can do that and has the control that he does, he doesn't need 93 to 96. He can do that at 88 to 92 and still be successful. We saw it last night. I mean, his control was impeccable last night, and it just gives hitters fits. You go up there and you have to pick a side of the zone, and then you also have to guess what pitch it's going to be because it's so hard to pick up early out of the release point for him. So I'm excited to see him. He's 35 now? I'm excited to see kind of what pitcher he's going to become in the next 5 years, because I do believe he'll be pitching in the big leagues at 40 years old if he wants.
Wow. Well, I hope so too. I'm happy for him. He was nothing but great for my Indians. I know not in the playoffs against the Yankees a couple of times and some other, but he set the standard for where they are pitching wise as an organization. For me, it's a couple of storylines. Amanda just pointed out in the chat, she felt terribly for Spencer Turnbull because we kind of brushed over his no-hitter. I don't know if that's because it happened late night in Seattle and it's not the Yankees and all that sort of stuff, but really it was because the Tony La Russa story was all over the front pages of the baseball world instead. So I feel for him. I still think Turnbull should be getting some love based on where he's been. There was a tremendous story, I think, in The Athletic talking about how his dad drove 900 miles a few weeks ago from, I forget if it was Mississippi or Alabama or somewhere up to Detroit just to play catch with his son and get him back on.
That's awesome.
And so we have to remember, behind every no-hitter, there is a great story. For Corey Kluber, it's a sense of redemption. The guy pitched one inning down in Texas, one inning after he got traded there by the Indians because he had an injury in a pandemic-shortened season. And now it's great that he got his first no-hitter in Arlington. So I thought that was cool. The other big thing is, I don't know if you're paying attention, there is a three-way race to see who can get no-hit the most this year. So Rangers, Mariners, Indians, I believe in all three of you. I want to see one of you pull ahead at some point this year. Somebody go get it if you're not buying it.
It's tough on a team getting no hit, especially twice in the season that's only been, 6 weeks so far?
I know. It's crazy, dude.
And I'm not buying the dead ball thing. You don't need a juiced ball to get a hit. I think the pitchers are really good, and then the approach eventually the approaches are going to have to change within the game. I think everyone's seeing that. The 3-2 outcomes suck, and I know you get paid to slug, but it's a confidence thing. The batting average only comes into play right here. If you can bunt for a hit, we saw Shohei do it. If you bunt for a hit and you see that hit up on the board, the rest of the game you're feeling saucy, man. I used to love to try to bunt for a hit my first at bat. If you get it, the rest of the day is awesome. You can do whatever you want. You can go and try to hit 3 homers if you want.
I like that. Good philosophy. We appreciate
I
you
think it's
being
going
in
to
the
change.
hitters meeting.
Yeah.
It's cool. All right, let's have some fun. Very rarely do we get to see a manager blow up because of replay. But because of the call we had at first base, again with Trey Turner and running on the inside of the line when he really didn't and all that BS, give me a 1 to 10 scale on Davey Martinez's blow up where he picked up the bag.
Anytime you pick up like a piece of the field and get to throw it, you get a 10 in my book. Not only did he pick it up and throw it down, but the kick was awesome. Like, those bags are heavy. And you kick it the wrong way, you might hurt yourself. He clipped it perfectly, Chris. It got the roll. So, I think Davey understands what he's doing out there, firing the boys up. It was a stupid call. It's a stupid call, man.
It's a terrible rule. Let's start with that. And this particular, because it happened twice last night. It happened in the Diamondbacks-Dodgers game as well. Torey Lovullo got thrown out there. Actually, that one was more applicable to the rule because the runner was running truly on the inside of the baseline, and it did affect the throw. This one in Chicago, the ball was at the backstop. So even if Turner is running along the inside of the line, which he wasn't, where is he supposed to run? It's just such a horseshit rule. Like, they should change. They should have a meeting of the minds and today change the rule. Like, if baseball wanted to be progressive, just get everybody on a conference call, a Zoom, whatever you want to do. Be like, guys, can we change this fucking rule? It sucks.
Did you just hear yourself? If baseball wants to be progressive?
Well,
that's not the case, man.
My hope is if they watch enough Instagram live shows, yes. Hey, quickly, do you have a favorite Ron Gardenhire blow-up story? Because he was one of the best snappers around.
Dude, I totally blanked. I was going to wear a shirt. I have one that says 65 career ejections and counting or something like that. He's incredible. One that really comes to my mind, because I was right there for it, Mauer fouled the ball off, hit the dirt on a 2-strike pitch, and they called him out. After they said, no, hit the dirt, they called him out. Gardy goes out there and argues it, saves Mauer, whatever. And then he comes back in the dugout. He doesn't get thrown out yet. Comes back in the dugout. And then it was like a light bulb went off in his head. And he's like, they got to check the ball. He looks at me. He's like, they got to check the ball.
You have to check the ball. You got to check the ball. The ball hit the ground. Check it. You got to check the ball.
And then he just goes out. You got to check the ball. You got to check the ball. And obviously he gets thrown out. But the thing about Gardy is he knew when to get thrown out. He protected his players, at all costs, the umpires. But he did it so much that he's comfortable. A lot of times you see these managers go out there, they don't know what to say. Like, they're pissed, but they don't know what to say. Gardy, that was when he was most comfortable. So you go watch some of his ejections, or you can go on YouTube and just check out Gardenhire career ejections. It's a video.
Yeah, that's great stuff. All right, I need to cool down. I'm going to get a sip of a cool beverage. It's presented to you by DugoutMugs.com. Do your early Father's Day shopping right now. The cool thing is you can get whatever in gray. So if you want to get Pops' name, if you want to get the Chris Rose rotation, if you want to get, Plouffe's, I don't know, if you want to put Plouffe's face on one of these, they could probably do that.
They can do that.
You want to walk around with Plouffe's face on Dugout Mugs. So you get this, you get the wind up, you get the ability to pop open Pop's favorite beverage as well, and the knob shot. So you go to DugoutMugs.com, use the code word ROSE. The first 500 people that do that save 35% on their order. 35%. The next 500, you save 30. The next 500, 25, and so on. We are here to help. Do your early Father's Day shopping. Go out and get it. DugoutMugs.com. Use the code word ROSE. Woo!
Yes. As a father, that's a good gift for Father's Day. I have one already, so I know the quality. It's a good gift for Father's Day.
Yep, totally. All right, Fernando Tatis played for the first time after missing 8 games because of COVID. All he did in helping the Padres extend their win streak to 6 was go 4 for 4 with a homer and 2 doubles and a steal, where he did the splits that made me tear my groin muscle. So should we just be like, oh, ho-hum, it's just Tatis, or should we take a step back and be like, the dude is amazing?
I mean, he's amazing, and I don't know the answer to this, and maybe you do. Did he even take a rehab stint? I know he's out for 8 days.
So here's what he had to stay in quarantine. He took dry swings in his house. He went for a light jog one day, and that was it. Other than that, remember, it was a day game yesterday.
Yes.
So it's not like they're hitting on the field. He hit a little bit, wherever they have their cages there, and that was it.
That's very impressive. 8 days off. go and face major league pitching after, quarantining and doing absolutely nothing is insane. Not only does he have to do that, Chris, but you remember he hyperextended his shoulder, can't swing one-handed anymore, can't extend like that. He went oppo for a homer, like right center, up the middle for his first hit, pulled 2 balls. He's line to line with it. He's changed his follow through to 2 hands. Like, the guy is basically he could just do anything. Like, he's the definition of get out of bed, roll out of bed, and hit. So he's the man. And he's so cool, Chris. So cool.
It's unreal. I cannot believe that a guy can roll out of bed and do that against major league pitching. When I read that all he did was take some dry hacks at home, that was it. Like,
hey, that's why you give the guy $300 and whatever that $1 million, right?
Right. And by the way, he is one of the guys where the game changes when you're watching it and he is playing it. It just feels different. It just does, because he is so special, and everything, the bravado that he brings and all the swag and everything else, when you turn on a Padres game and he's in the lineup, it's different. It's totally different and fun. All right, your buddy Jack Flaherty improved to 8-0 in 9 starts. I'm setting the over-under this year at 19.5 wins. What are you taking?
I'll take the over. I believe in Jack more than anybody in the big leagues, probably. And I'll tell you why. Everybody at the big league level is good and is talented and athletic and blah, blah, blah. But the thing that separates people is like the mental, the toughness, the confidence factor. That's so huge. That's another reason why I'm like okay with 3-0 swinging every time, because get confident. Jack right now is as confident as I've ever seen him, and I've known him for a long time. Like, he's coming into his own in the big leagues. Obviously, he's had success already, so success breeds success. He's got a new girl that he's like, they're really good, so I think that helps out.
By the way,
too.
hey,
we're really happy.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Go ahead.
Jack
Good for Jack, boy. That's what I'm talking about.
They should give you the Cy Young just based on that alone. You don't have to win another game in my book.
They look good, but that's what I'm saying, Chris. Like, he's so confident right now. And he had, I believe the first start was bad, right? He had a really bad first start.
Yeah, I think they crushed whomever it was. I forget if it was the Pirates, and I think he ended up winning that game, but he didn't pitch well.
But he's been lights out, and when you just watch him, you just see the swagger, and like, he is confident in who he is, and dude, the guy puts in the work, which is another thing that's going to raise the confidence. He's got it all going for him right now. So you said 19.5 wins. He's already got 8.
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing.
I'm in. And he plays in the Central.
What was the last year the National League had a 20-game winner?
No clue.
2016.
Damn.
Max Scherzer. So it's been 5 years. Now, I know last year obviously was quirky, so we knocked that one out. But it just goes to show you, National League, if it's a 2-2 game, guy could be pitching great, and he gets pinch hit for in the 7th, and then he doesn't get the decision. I mean, that can happen an awful lot. So it seems like, of course he's going to get 12 more wins this year. It's tougher than you think it is.
100%. Yeah.
And by the way, I know that wins are not as important when it comes to arbitration, when teams are handing out contracts, and how a lot of sabermetricians look at the game. And that's fine. I understand it. I'm not in the Brian Kenny kill the win camp, but I understand how it's been diminished. To me, there still is something magical when a guy gets 20 wins. And I'm just telling you the way I feel. I don't know how everybody else feels out there, but when you get 20 wins, I just think it's cool.
I say this all the time. You know who loves wins? Pitchers. Yeah, they love that. So
they do.
I think he's in the right organization. They have the trust in Jack. I think with Yachty behind the plate, he's understanding how to get Jack farther and farther into games, because they have a really good bullpen in St. Louis, and you got to protect that bullpen. Jack is the kind of guy that they can say, hey, let's get you into the 7th inning as much as possible. You're built for it. You're ready to. All
right, last one quickly. Shohei Ohtani did not get the win last night, but for the second straight time, he went from the pitcher's mound to right field. A little bit of me, I have to admit, it scares the bejesus out of me, because what if he has to throw home on a sac fly right after pitching, and it could get weird. Should you tell me to calm down, or is that a justified fear that I've got?
I think you should calm down. I mean, I get how Angels fans could feel like, man, this is our guy. We don't want him to get hurt. But dude, he's a ball player. He's been doing this his whole life. If I would love to see him pitch 7 innings, go out there to right field, and absolutely host someone at the plate. I think he could do it. Why not? Another.
Is there a risk though? Is there a health risk on something like that? I don't know. After throwing 80 pitches, let's say.
Shoot, I don't really know either, man. We really haven't seen it. I remember, back in the high school days, I would do that. I'd come from shortstop and go to pitcher to close out games. I rarely ever came out of games as a starting pitcher, Chris. I'd usually go 7. Do you know what I'm saying? But I would go play shortstop. I know I'm 18 years old. That's a long time ago. But I think if he's used to doing it, I don't think there's much of a risk, in my opinion.
All right. So what we learned today is that Plouffe clicked Kluber a couple of times, and he never came out of high school games.
I got
that's all right.
That confidence too,
Hey,
Chris. Come on, man.
You and I have something in common. You never came out of a high school game, and I never got into one. There we go. Perfect. Quickly, what do you have working on JOMBOY Media today?
Today, I got nothing coming out. Tomorrow, we'll do our series recap for Talking Baseball. Mm-hmm. But I want to give a shout-out to my guy, Jeff, Nameless Jeff. I'm going up to his farm today. He's harvesting his product. Everyone go give Nameless Jeff a follow. Or is it Jeff Nameless on IG? He's my guy. I'll be sending some pics to you, Chris, about the sweet life that's going on up there, man. But what do you got?
Well, the Max Scherzer, Lucas Giolito episode did drop today. Go give a listen. We talked to Scherzer about the possibility of being traded in the 7th and last year of his deal with the Nationals. How important making the Hall of Fame is. What would he rather have in his career? A perfect game or 4,000 strikeouts? We talked to him about the only home run he hit. There's an amazing story behind that. And, we also go over the day that he became a father for the 3rd time earlier this year, where he had to go pitch a complete game, and then his wife Erica gave birth to their son Derek. So there's a ton of fun stuff and good stuff where he's ripping on Giolito because he had him as a 21-year-old rookie in Washington.
You could rip on Giolito for a lot of stuff. Was he as intense getting interviewed, or is there a soft, squishy side of Max Scherzer?
No, there's both. There is both. You can see, there were a couple times I tried to get at him a little bit, and he's got. It's why he is great. It's why guys who are so good at their profession are great. He has such tunnel vision. But
yeah, he can turn it on, man. He's scary out there on the mound.
But he's fun. He's got a good personality, and we bring up a lot of good stories. So go check that out on the Chris Rose rotation. And we're going to do this again on Friday. Get your weekend started off right.
That's right. See you tomorrow, 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 Eastern. Who cares about Central Time?
It's 10:30 Central.
They never say that,
for a little while.
Say that.
And 9:30 Mountain. We love you people too.
No, we
Hawaii,
don't.
I think it's 5:30 a.m. Hawaii. That might be a little early, but you can always check it out on the JM Baseball YouTube channel. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again Friday. Enjoy the farm.
Later, guys.